Hey guys, welcome back. Got my coffee because we are going to try to pass that test. And hopefully, this information will help you. So, let's dive into one of the main things you're going to need to know, and it is what is immovable and what is immovable. In other words, what is real property, what's personal property. Understanding the difference is essential not only for buyers and sellers, but for you to pass your test. So let's begin with immovable property, the cornerstone of real estate. This includes land and anything permanently attached to it. Think of the physical house, the foundation, walls, roof, built-in systems, plumbing, electric. They are not meant to be moved. They are directly attached with the value of the land itself. Immovable property transfers with the deed when you buy a home. You're not just acquiring a structure, but a bundle of rights. Whoa, what is bundle of rights? Okay, you need to know this. This is going to be on your test, more than likely. What is the bundle of rights? In real estate, owning the property means you have multiple rights at the same time. They can be separated, transferred, shared, or limited. The 5 core rights. Number 1, right of possession. This means you can live in your property. You can leave it vacant. You can decide who enters it. If you own a house, you can decide who can stay there or not. All right, so right of possession. Number 2, right of control. This gives you the power to use the property however you choose, as long as it follows the laws. You can paint the walls, remodel, rent it out. As long as you're following zoning laws, HOA, depending on your location. So right of possession, right of control. Number 3, my favorite, right of exclusion. You have the right to keep other people off your property. You could deny access to strangers, friends, families, exes, anyone. As long as it's your property, this is why they made trespassing laws. Some people just can't come to your house. Number 4, the right of enjoyment, another big one. You are entitled to use your property in peace, legal manner without interference. No one can disturb you. Just sitting out on your back patio, on your pool, whatever, neighbors can't legally create excessive disturbances, and like they can't just start blaring music so that your house is just shaking or, things like that. But you can't do it to them as well. The number 5, the right of disposition. This allows you to sell, lease, or transfer your house. So you can sell your home, rent it, pass it down to your family, inheritance, whatever. The bundle of rights is powerful, but not absolute. The government laws and agreements can limit or divide these rights. And plus, leasing a property, you give possession and some control to a tenant. Easements, sometimes you may give a little bit of your rights over to someone else because you're sharing a driveway or a garage. Zoning laws, and then one of the big ones, eminent domain. The government has the right to take your property and give you just compensation through the action of condemnation that we learned all about in the last video. So think of owning like a property, like a set of permissions, not just ownership. You don't just own a house, you own rights to it. You own rights to possess, live in it, to control it. Exclusion, keep people out. Enjoyment, to enjoy your house. And to sell or transfer however you feel like you should. So you definitely want to understand that. That is more than likely going to be on your test in some form or fashion. So make sure you know what the bundle of rights is. But now, since we know about immovable, let's talk about movable property, also known as personal property. These are items that are not permanently attached and can be removed without causing damage. Furniture. No one wants that couch. Yeah, not no more. Appliances, refrigerators, artwork, outdoor grills. They may want it. You better put in the purchase contract. Because if it's not in there, it does not typically have to stay with the property. It goes with the person. You know what else is personal property you might not think of? A lease. Because a lease does not go with the property, it goes with the tenant. So that's another personal property. So how do we determine what stays and goes? There is a concept of fixtures comes into play, a gray area that often leads to confusion and sometimes disputed. because a fixture technically is personal property that has been attached to a home. So, for example, cabinets, light fixtures, ceiling fans, sometimes even TVs that are mounted. So save your seller or save yourself the stress and remove the stuff you don't want to sell before you put it on the market. Because there's 3 guidelines people use for this. The method of attachment, is it permanently fixed? Can it be removed? Adaptation, was it specifically customized for the area? And intent, did the person who installed it intend it to be permanent? And often the most important factor is intent. So, easy example, you walk in a house, see a beautiful chandelier, you're like, man, this really gives a vibe. I love how it makes this house look. I want to purchase this house because I love this vibe. And then you do your walkthrough before you close and it's gone. Because it was a family heirloom, but they failed to mention that in the purchase agreement or on the marketing. So that's why it's very important to clarify everything in real estate agreements, because they should be explicitly listed. What is included, what is excluded. Items like washers and dryers, window treatments, even some landscape like vases, big containers of trees that were just in a vase, and that made the landscape look great, but when you take it out, now it looks kind of dull. So the things can be something that needs to be discussed and understood before you sell your property. So understanding movable and immovable, real or personal property is not just about avoiding disputes, which is very nice if you can. It's about recognizing value, because immovable property typically appreciates over time. It's driven by your location, development, other things, market demand. Movable property, on the other hand, usually depreciates. The couch loses value, the car loses value. Land does not usually. And it also applies, your immovable property can be tax write-offs, things like that, not your couch, all right? So real estate is more than just buying and selling homes. It's about understanding the layers of ownership and the fine line between what stays and what goes, whether you're a first-time buyer, seasoned investor, or someone trying to get their license, because you need to know this. Because in real estate, what you think you're buying isn't always what you actually get unless you understand the details, put it in the contract, and your clients are aware of what is not coming with the property. So follow me for more tips and guides when you're trying to get your license. And see me on the next video.